Hi everyone, my name is Juanita and welcome to my channel. If you've watched my previous video, you would have seen the layout I'm making today. I hope you're excited to scrap with me. The idea behind my video is that I'll start by going through the materials and tools I used for my layout, and then if you like to, you can pause the video and get your tools and materials ready to scrap along with me. Please note that I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, therefore I use mostly Stampin' Up products. However, you can use whatever you like, whatever you have on hand. I've linked everything I use in the descriptions below. Okay, let's get started. So this is the layout we're making today. I love how it looks like there's a lot going on, but it's actually pretty simple to put together. You need 4 different pattern paper, 1 for the base and 3 for the circles. You need a white cardstock for the background, and you need 2 different shades of green cardstock, 1 for the photo mat and the rest for the leaves die cut. Next, you need a few different stamps for the leaves and stamps for adding some images to the white cardstock. Finally, you can add a title to your page by using a die cut. In my case, I'm using Happy Birthday because this is the photo taken of my little one when she turned 3 last year. Okay, you can pause the video now and get your materials ready to scrap with me. We start by trimming our white cardstock to 10 by 10 inches. Next, we're going to cut our photo mat using one of our darker green paper. For this, I'm using Stampin' Up's rectangle stitch framed dies to give it a stitch border. Sorry, a bit hard for the camera to focus on the stitch edges. Of course, if you don't have a stitch rectangle die, you can simply trim the green photo mat to 10 by 13 centimeters. The photo itself is 8.5 by 11.5 centimeters. Now I'm going to stamp some leaves. I'll be using the stamp set from Forever Ferned, and I'll be stamping different types of leaves to make the page more interesting. I'm just stamping these onto the offcuts from the white cardstock, and I'll start with the darker green ink pad. In my case, I'm using the shaded prunes. At this stage, I wasn't sure how many leaves I'll be using, so I've decided to just stamp a couple of each one. The next color I'll be using is Pretty Peacock. It's a different shade of dark green. Last but not least, the light green ink pad I'm using is Old Olive. Now that all the stamping is done, we are ready to die cut them out. To do this, I'm using the Forever Flourishing die set. It has the dies that can cut out my stamped images and also have some other interesting leaves. If you don't have something like this, you can always stamp more leaves and just fussy cut them out. I'm cutting some leaves from 3 different green cardstock. You may have guessed the colors already. They are Old Olive, Shaded Prunes, and Pretty Peacock. It's so nice when your paper matches your ink pad colors, I have to say. That's one of the things I love about Stampin' Up, the easy coordination. But don't feel disheartened if you've just started out and you don't have many colors and paper yet. Just use what you have and I'm sure it'll turn out nice too. The more you scrap, the more you start to learn what you need and what you like to use. If you love scrapbooking like me, you will eventually grow your collection and scrapbooking will get easier when you have enough things on hand that can match any photos. But grow your collection slowly and don't let anything go to waste. That's my mantra. Don't let anything go to waste. You can see from my videos that I'm always using scraps, and any extra stamp images that I don't end up using, I keep for another project. Next, we can die cut our stamp images. If you don't have matching dies, you can just fussy cut them out. I have a friend that actually enjoys fussy cutting and finds it therapeutic. Each to their own, hey? Okay, once that's done, I'm going to cut out 3 circles. I'm using the layering circle framelits dies, and the one I'm using is 3 inches in diameter. I'm cutting out 3 circles from 3 different pattern paper. 2 of them, the green ones, are from the Forever Greenery Designer Series paper, and the brown one is from In Good Taste Designer Series paper. Now I'm playing with the placements of all my elements. There are so many ways you can do this, and the page will end up looking different each time. This is what is so amazing about scrapbooking. There's no right or wrong, you just do what you think looks good. Now that my elements are in place, I know where I want my title to go. For my title, I'm using the well-written framelits dies, and I'm taking out the one that says Happy Birthday. My phone ran out of battery while I was die cutting the title. However, I think you know the drill. Next, we're going to stamp on our white cardstock. To do this, I'm using the stamp set from Tasteful Touches. It has some patterns that works really well as background stamps. I'm stamping them using Pretty Peacock ink pad. Once the background stamping is done, we are ready to start assembling. You may pause the video now if you would like to catch up. You know how I said I don't like to waste? Whenever I'm layering paper, I always cut the middle bit out to use on another project. In my previous video, I showed how this can be done using a trimmer. But if you don't have a trimmer, a cutting blade and a metal ruler will work just fine. We will now start assembling by sticking the white cardstock onto the middle of the pattern paper. And then we can stick our photo onto our photo mat. And now we can stick the matted photo onto the page. After I've stuck my photo on, I felt like the whole page was too green, so I decided to add another color. I'm stamping the flower from the Tasteful Touches stamp set using Melon Mumble ink pad. Melon Mumble is a very bright pink, so I'm using a second impression to get a lighter pink. I then fussy cut the flower out. Now that I'm happy with the placement of everything, it's time to glue them down. Out of the whole scrapbooking process, my favorite part is definitely the assembly stage. It's so nice to slowly see your page come to life. I'm using liquid glue for almost everything except for the pink flower, which I've used dimensions so that it pops up. And there you go, it's done. What do you think? Thank you so much for watching. Please comment below if you like my video or if you have any questions. If you did scrap along with me, I would so love to see what you've created. Here's the layout I'll be making in my next video. I absolutely love it. If you don't want to miss the video, please make sure you subscribe. I aim to post my videos at least fortnightly, and I have listed the materials and tools I'll be using in my next video in my description below. Feel free to prepare the materials ahead of time so that you can scrap with me. Thanks again for watching. Happy scrapping!